Okay, we're back. I'm Adam.
I'm Dan.
And we're here to discuss and review 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Or as people have just been calling it, 3 Billboards.
Yeah.
I'll start with this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is directed and written by the same guy who did In Bruges and Seven Psychopaths. 2 movies that we are both big fans of. So essentially when I text Dan at like 9 o'clock at night on a Friday and say, hey, do you want to go see 3 Billboards? If you don't know what that is, it's made by the same guy who made In Bruges and Seven Psychopaths, and the only showtime we can really go see is at 12:40, and then he just texts me, sure.
Yeah.
Like, there was no argument, there was no thinking about it, like, he was just sold on it.
As soon as I told him, I love that guy. Like, I don't even know the guy's name, but he made those 2 movies, so I like him.
I forget his name too, unfortunately, but it's like, it was like, he knew nothing about the film, all I had to tell you, it's made by that guy, and you were just in.
Yeah.
So that's that story. Other than that, it stars Frances McDormand, who probably gives the best performance of a female, I would say. It's arguably the best performance by a female this year, I would say.
Definitely up there, yeah.
Yeah, she is phenomenally really good in this film. And to the point where it's like you understand her character and you're rooting for her character. And then the movie has such a great arc with her to the point where it's like, at one point, even you are just kind of like, even though you're with her, you're agreeing with some of the people, like, maybe she should tone this down a bit, sort of thing.
Oh, I completely agree. Her performance was incredible. And now that you said it out loud, like, yeah, it's probably one of, if not the best, like, female performances of the year. Like, if she doesn't at least get nominated for an Oscar for this, the Academy doesn't know what they're doing.
No.
Because it was, like, I mean, really, most of the performances in the movie are really good, but her especially.
Yeah. The whole thing is that, okay, if you know this movie, you saw the trailers of it, and you know about it, you're going to go into this film almost like I did, thinking it's a film about an investigation. Like, trying to find the murderer.
Yeah.
But it's not. That's not this film.
That is my absolute 100% favorite thing about this movie. Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said earlier, most of the performances were incredible, but my favorite thing about the movie is just how well written it is. Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't have, like, the sterling dialogue that, like, Seven Psychopaths did that made me fall in love with that movie. But, man, just, like, in the couple of days since we've seen it, like, it just sticks with me how well balanced everything is. Because, there are essentially no characters in this movie that are completely irredeemable, and there are no characters in this movie that are completely, like, heroic. Yeah. Like, you understand everyone's motivations, good and bad. Like, you know, no one in their right mind who's not a complete monster, ever wants to go against the woman who lost her daughter in such a horrible and brutal way. On the other hand, Woody Harrelson lays out very clearly, like, you know, look, it's not that we don't care. This isn't a case of, like, we just don't want to investigate it. Mm-hmm. We tried our hardest, and there's just nothing there. Like, we did everything we could, and outside of that, it's like, we just have to start a witch hunt. And you can't, like, you know, and you can't do that. And Frances McDormand is like, well, if it were me, I would. And it's like, I understand, but that's not how this works. And they are human beings who make mistakes and who make bad decisions sometimes, but they are not evil people.
Yeah. I was going to say, since you mentioned Woody Harrelson, I will say Woody Harrelson gives a fantastic performance in the movie. If you watch the trailers and the advertisements for the film, you might think he's a big star in it, like he's a big part of the movie, and unfortunately he's not in it all that much. I'm not going to spoil anything, but he's not
I don't want
to
tell you what happens to him.
But he's not in it all that much.
Yeah.
I was going to say, though, but the one person who the trailers actually didn't, and the advertising actually don't glorify, or at least show a lot, is Sam Rockwell, who actually has a big part in this movie.
And he has an arc that is, like, even more than Frances McDormand and Woody Harrelson. He has an arc in the movie that really pushes what I said to the limit. Where, like, you know, there are times in this movie where you look at him and it's like, he may as well be the villain. Like, he's just, like, he's not a good guy, and then at one point it turns, and, you know, without telling you the why or the how, there's a point where it turns and you're just like, I want to see him succeed now.
He's like this cop who they say is a racist because he supposedly tortured a black guy once, and, like, it's up in the air. They never really explained if that was true or not, but it is made clear.
Implied.
it is made clear, though, he is a racist.
Right.
And that he does have a problem with black people. Early in the movie, like the one guy even says to Woody Harrelson, "Why do you keep this guy on? He's nothing but trouble, and he's essentially an asshole."
Yeah.
And Woody Harrelson essentially says, He's got a good heart, though.
Yeah.
And as you're following him in the movie, you end up learning that Woody Harrelson is not wrong.
Right.
He does actually deep down have a good heart. And we were mentioning the arc he takes.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm not going to spoil anything because I want people to see this movie,
really
so I'm not going to spoil it.
So.
I'm not going to spoil it, but he has an arc that is so well done and is so good to the point where, like, when you get to the end of it, he's not completely out of the woods.
No.
But he's making progress.
Yeah.
But there is a scene in this movie that is so well done, and like essentially, like it's the scene where essentially his character is kind of like, okay, I have to change, and it's a scene that is so well done, and is so well shot, it is so well acted. And the funny thing is, it is so simple. It's such a simple scene.
Oh man, it doesn't even last that long.
No, it doesn't.
It's like a minute and
it's
and
such
a half
a simple
tops.
scene to the point, but it made me teary eyed.
Yeah.
And I don't get teary eyed very often in movies. I try not to, even though we're going to review Coco in a little bit.
I was going to say we're going to do 2 in a row.
I was going to say, but essentially, like this moment, which it's like some people on paper, it doesn't seem like that type of moment probably, but it's shot and executed so well that it made me teary eyed because I, as the audience member, realized this is his moment.
Yeah.
This is the moment where everything from this point on for him is going to change. He's going to become a better person. He's going to become essentially the person he should be, not the person that he is at the moment. And it was such a well done fucking scene. One thing I will say is that Peter Dinklage is in the movie, and he's another one that if you saw the advertisements in the trailers and shit like that, it make you seem like he's going to be a big character, but he's really not.
No.
But he gives a fantastic performance, and his character is so good, and the way he plays it is so well, to the point where I wish he was in it a lot more. But unfortunately, I don't think they utilize him completely.
Yeah, he was a character I kind of wished had been in there more.
Yeah, I do too.
Like, I wouldn't even call it a negative in the movie, but like if there was one thing that I wanted is I wanted a little bit more of him.
Yeah.
Because he, like, the moments he is given, he's given some good ones, and there's some good points in there that I think would have, we could have used a little more of. Like, partly just because I like Peter Dinklage, but also because he had a good character, and he had didn't have as much of an arc, but like the little bit of a storyline he was given, I think was something that they could have explored a little more.
The only other thing I will say, this isn't a negative to the film at all, but the only thing I will say is that I can see there are probably some people who are going to see this film and not be satisfied with the ending.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is that, like, I found the ending to be very satisfying. Because, like I said, if you go into this film thinking you're about to see a film that's going to be about cops and a mother investigating the murder of her daughter, then you're going to be quite disappointing with the film's ending. But if you go in there and just willing to accept and just learn that you're here to watch essentially these characters as they go about their day and see what they learn and what they process and all that shit, then the movie's ending is quite poetically simple and poignant for the film.
And I actually think you said it correctly. By the end of the movie, Sam Rockwell's character isn't all the way there, but he's on the journey. And I think that was it. I think that is the perfect thing of, like, it's like, like I said, none of these characters are perfect. None of them are completely good, but like they want to be better.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the movie is about, is like coming to terms with that. And like, I've made mistakes. Sometimes I'm wrong. What can I do to improve it? And I think that's where we leave our characters, and I think that is the perfect way to end the film then.
3 Billboards is arguably one of the best films I've seen this year. Frances McDormand gives a Oscar-winning performance. Sam Rockwell as well, I think, gives an Oscar-winning performance. I will not be surprised if either of those two are nominated when it comes to the award season. I won't be surprised if we see nominations for either of them. I won't be surprised if we see a nomination for Best Screenplay for the film. Woody Harrelson is great in it. It has a beautiful story to be told, even though as dark as it is. It's a beautiful story because you're following all these characters who essentially all have an arc and all have growing to do, sort of thing. And it's great just to see these people go through what they're going through and essentially coming to like a conclusion of where they need to go. And that was really good. And it was shot beautifully. The fucking dialogue was fantastic. I really love this film. I think it's one of the best films of the year. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Okay, so that takes it to you.
I mean, I absolutely agree. Like, the performances were fantastic. The writing was so good. And, you know, it's like I said, it didn't reach, like, the sterling dialogue that I loved from Seven Psychopaths, or even in Bruges, for that matter. But, like, just, like, the story components of the writing were so well done, and so just perfectly balanced and everything. Like, if I were a teacher, I would use this movie as, like, this is how you make characters compelling and well-balanced and all that. I think I even said in the car there were a couple of parts that I felt maybe dragged a little bit. Not enough to ruin the movie in any way. But, like, you know, maybe you could have shortened them a little. But at the same time, I was compelled the whole time to see the movie through, and I wanted to see what was going to happen and how it was going to end and all of that stuff. It is perfect in that regard. I'm not going to give it a 9. I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay.
But only because, like, I'm judging it by Seven Psychopaths, which I know I've explained to you, has one of my favorite cinema moments of all time.
Yeah.
With the story of the Quaker psychopath as it's described in the movie. It's something that's stuck in my head and drilled in there, and I cannot, like, if I go more than a couple of days without just remembering that scene, that's a long couple of days. So, like, compared to that one moment, which is, like, one of my all-time favorites, I can't give it a 9 or higher, but it is absolutely an 8. It is absolutely something, you know, unfortunately it's a small movie. It, you know, it only came to us just recently. Lord only knows if it's going to come to a theater near you or if it will stay in theaters long enough to see.
And not only that, it was in the smallest theater, in like,
literally,
the smallest
literally
auditorium
in the
theater.
And we were the only ones in there. Literally the only 2 people in that room. So whether it will be in theaters long enough for you to see, I don't know. If you get a chance, like, even if it's a discount theater, just support this movie. Please see it. And if you can't, just when it comes on Netflix or whatever streaming service, if you get any chance to see it ever, please check it out. You owe it to yourself as a lover of movies. If you love good writing, good acting, anything, you absolutely should see it. So please see it. I gave it an 8. He gave it a 9. Easily one of the best of the year.
It is. So that's going to do it for this review. Please thumbs up the video if you like it. Please subscribe to our channel if you would like to see more reviews. And please leave a comment and let us know what you guys thought of 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Yeah.
It's a mouthful of a title.
Yeah.
So that's going to do it. We are going to be back with Pixar's Coco.
Yes.